Shortly after the original Iron Man movie came out, Marvel was planning on bringing us a feature film version of Runaways. Runaways followed a group of teenagers who find that some family secrets are bigger than others when they discover their parents are actually supervillains. Running away from their homes, the teens band together and begin a journey of discovery, both of their parents' origins and of their own inherited powers, while trying to make up for the evil done by their folks. Despite the announcement that a feature film was in development, nothing ever happened. But recently, writer Drew Pearce, who wrote the script for The Runaways and later Iron Man 3, or at least a draft of it, talked about the film and what happened to it. Here's what he had to say. We were really close to being made, and then this movie started to happen called The Avengers, and oddly, it pulled focus from the unheard of brand Runaways, and it really did kind of consume the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's there. Maybe it'll be a Phase 3 movie. I really hope so. I'm really proud of it, and I think it'll be a brilliant film, but it all depends on what Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel, says and what his master plan is. So, Dennis, buy or sell The Runaways, and why do you think it was pulled out of production?
Well, I buy the reason why it was pulled out of production, but at the same time, I don't think it was highly likely, at least at that time, that it was going to get made. I remember hearing about The Runaways. I haven't read the comic book. I remember hearing about it possibly being a movie right around that time, and I was like, there's no way that they're going to launch this unknown brand when they have so many other things that they need to do. Mm-hmm. So I knew from the get-go that it wasn't going to be at least a Phase 1 or Phase 2 movie. And it might not even be a Phase 3, maybe Phase 4 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been aware of Runaways for a long time. I didn't really get turned on to the Runaways until, like, actually over there in my living room over there, I've got stacks of Runaway comics. I got turned on to them because my wife started reading them, and she loves Runaways. Like, she became obsessed with Runaways. And I started reading a bunch of them. It's like, this is really, really good stuff. However, I buy the fact that they didn't do it. Look, it was probably their intention at first. We're going to create this Marvel Cinematic Universe, great, but we're not just going to live in this one little tube. We're not going to just live in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to build things around it too. And one of those things was going to be Runaways. But I think what Pierce is saying here is that they quickly changed focus. They're like, you know what? It's not just a little tube, this universe we're living in. This is actually pretty big. It's going to be pretty time-consuming. It's going to be pretty much all-engrossing. We're not going to have the time to do this. And they kind of got put on the shelf. And look, who can argue with the results, right? I mean, look, they gave us all the Thor, Captain America. They gave us the Avengers, one of the highest-grossing films of all time. Obviously, the plan worked. And even if they get around to doing a Runaways film, I don't think it's going to be in Phase 3 or Phase 4. I don't think it's going to be in Phase anything. I think if they ever get around to making this movie, it's going to be a standalone. It's probably going to be a very distinct standalone because I just don't see, even in the comic world, when they do introduce other characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe into it, it feels a little awkward to me. You know, Captain America shows up and it's like, I just don't know that it would work in the cinematic universe. I believe they'll do it someday, but I don't think it'll be tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So for me, I buy their reasoning.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.